Coming out of the second chorus, we're into the solo, which is in the key of E, and starts off with this phrase. So we'll start off with the note E, open low E string, followed by E on the 7th fret of the A string. And now we're going to play on the 5th fret of the A string twice, 4th fret twice, back to the 7th fret, and then we're going to play this. So that'll be 5, 7 on the D, 7 once again, bend up a half step, release, pulling off to the 5th fret, back to 7, now 7 on the A string. So far we've done this. Now we'll strike 7 on the A twice, 5 on the A twice, 4 on the A 2 times, and that leads into our next lick. Our next lick goes like this. So we'll strike the 7th fret of the G string 4 times, and then the 5th time we'll bend up a whole step before playing 5 to 8 on the B string. Now bend up a whole step from 7G, grab 5 on the B string. Now we're going to shift position. So we've just done this. And we're going to play this phrase. So this will be 9 on the G string, and then on the B string we'll play 8, 10, 11, 10, 8, 10 to 8, and then 9 on the G, 9D, back to 9G. That goes by pretty quick. Okay, so here's what we've just done. Now here's the next phrase. We're going to shift positions now into 12th position. So here we'll play 12G, 14D, back to 12 on the G. Bend a whole step from 14G, grab 15 on the B. Now strike those 2 strings together. So 15B and then bend a whole step from 14G. Now play 15 on the B. Now strike 14 on the G, release, pulling off to the 12th fret and then back to the 14th. So we've just done this. Now strike 12 on the D string and the G string, hammering onto 14D. Strike 14D once again. 12G back to 14D. Now on the G string, 14, 12. Bend up a whole step from the 14 on the G string, grab 15 on the B. Back to the G string now, bend up a whole step and release. Okay, so here's what we've just gone over. Okay, that's a lot so far. Why don't we go back and review everything that we've done, just put it in context. Now here's the next part of the solo. So we'll start on the 12th fret of the B string and then 12 on the high E twice. From the 15th fret of the B string, bend up a whole step twice and then grab 12 on the high E and then 15, 12 B. Now 14 on the G string, 12 on the B, back to 12 on the G string. Bend up a whole step from 14 on the G and then grab 15 on the B. Once again, bend up a whole step from 14G, grab 15 on the high E now. So we've just done this. Once again. Now to the G string, bend up a whole step from 14G, release the bend, pulling off to 12, back to 14G. Okay, 3 more notes in this idea, 14 on the D, 12, 14G. Okay, so here's this phrase once again. And now here's the next lick. Starting off on the 14th fret of the D string, play that 2 times. 12G back to 14D. 14 on the G string and the B string now. Back to 14D. So we've just done this. Now 12 on the G, 14 on the G, bend up a whole step and grab 15B. Back to the G string, bend up a whole step from the 14th fret, release, pulling off to 12. And then 14G, 14D. So far we've done this. Now this lick continues with a whole step bend from 15 on the B string. And now we're going to play this. That's going to be 12 on the high E, 15, 12B. G string 14, 12 on the B, 12 on the G, 14 on the D string. So here's this phrase once again. Okay, now we're going to shift positions, and here's a really recognizable part of the solo. So here we'll play the open B string followed by the open high E string. And now we'll play 7 to 9 on the G string. And you can also get the high E string open or the high E string and the B string open. On the original recording, it sounds like it's the G string along with the high E string open. Live, we hear mainly just what's going on the G string here. So if you want to just do that, that's going to sound fine. But on the recording, I hear that high E string as well. So far we've just done this. So along with the high E string, we'll have 7, 7, 6, 7 on the G. 6, slide to 4, back to 6, 2 times. Now shift positions. We'll slide into the 14th fret of the G. 12B, 12 high E. Bend a whole step from 15B and slide off. And the next part goes like this. This is the ending of the solo. So along with the high E string open, play 9, 7, 7, 9 on the G. 7, 6, 7, 7. 6, 4, 4, 6. Shift positions now. While holding the 15th fret of the B string, bend up a whole step from 14G, release, and then do that again. And slide off. So here's that whole section with the open strings. And that's the solo. So let's go back and put it all together. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. One more part of the song to learn, and that's the middle section. It starts off like this. So we're in E, we'll play the open low E string. On the A string, slide 5 to 4, pulling off to 2, back to 4, 3 on the low E with a slight bend. Now we're going to play 2 on the A, 5 on the low E, similar to what we did during the intro. 2 on the A, 6 on the low E, 2 on the A, 7 on the low E. And there's the phrase. And that's going to be played 4 times. After doing it 4 times, we then do the same idea, but on the next set of strings in the key of A. All the frets are the same. So that riff is played between the open A string, or I should say it starts on the open A string, and then played on the D string as well. After doing that riff twice, then we go back to the first riff, which was in E, and we do that twice. And that's the section. So let's put it all together. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we're back to the pre-chorus, then into the chorus. And there you have the parts for Back in Black.